They just did some complete fuck shit. So check this out. I told you, most of the time when they're dealing with Steve, they make sure they calculate him covering my space accurately. So that means the motherfucker keeps showing up in the same space as me. Stalking. That's stalking. After I made it clear that I don't want the motherfucker around me. I gotta whisper because I know they're listening. But they can't hear it. The problem is they're watching, having a dual experience. So when I do something like this, they'll start slamming fucking doors. Because I changed something they can't control. So anyhow, I'm outside and I'm messing around with I'm about to get on the bike and leave, right? As soon as I come out my motherfucking door and go to my bike, that motherfucker goes to the end of the driveway. There's a car way down there. And I guess he's making some sort of sale. And when he gets done, because he was expecting me to leave, he was expecting me to take off. I didn't because my damn odometer, my little thing for my bike, it was like the battery was dead. So I took the battery out, then I put it back in, and it appears to be working fine. I was having an issue with the time, but you see that in the video before this. So instead of him taking his ass inside, he was busy trying to cover the tracks, okay? Like, he was trying to cover all the bases. So he went from the end of the driveway and got into his truck. And he sat there smoking a cigarette. I talked about this in my last video about how the cancer patient that wants pity is smoking cigarettes. Cancer demon. So that doesn't work. She shoots out the door, and then that takes place. So look, right after that, they go inside finally, and they like somebody else gonna have to cover down on it. So here comes Drop, the little neighborhood guy that does things like odds and ends in the neighborhood, like chores. And he's slow and he freaks. He'll shut down. That's the type of demon it is. Like, it shuts down. That's how they wired it. So when he seen that I wasn't leaving, and somebody had to pick up on it, he was like, "Oh fuck!" And he sits down on the curb in front of his buddy's place, but he's near the two white girls now, Amanda and Nicole. So I'm like, I can't go out. I can't go that way now because he's gonna try to speak to me and they're gonna claim that I spoke to them hoes and I don't fuck with them. And he fuck with every fucking body I don't fuck with. That's why I gotta, I used to ignore him a lot, but he's always been cordial, He's always just like a, hey, how you doing? Have a good day type, a demon. But I'm about to, last time he saw me, I was acting like I was listening to music. And he said my real name and it threw me off. I don't know how to fucking knows my name is Tequila. So I kind of was like, like, hey, or whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna have to stop fucking with that nigga because they using him to claim that I'm speaking to those around me. You get what I'm saying? That's how that parallel reality thing works. Her baby dad just pulled up. You hear that? He freaks out too and he'll come speeding up. He wasn't even coming around. He don't give a fuck about that kid. And he really don't give a fuck about that bitch. So then this guy, look, he done moved his car from where it was, didn't go nowhere, but moved his car over. And so what happened was, when he seen that I wasn't gonna leave, he came out and started fiddling. They put up a doorbell too. They don't never have no motherfucking company, but they've been inverted. So to align with Kelly Bunsen Steve, they all do things alike. They like, well, why does this one, if we're acting as them in the same area, why don't we have the same things? So that's where that doorbell shit came from. And it was all because I got one. It was all because I purchased one. They tried to keep me from purchasing it, and then they made sure my phone didn't operate, so I couldn't hook mine's up. Mine's ain't. I got some shit laying around that I can use. Some more shit laying around I can't use. While they talk about they don't want me in the same vibrational frequency as them, meaning they don't want me to have what they have. You get what I'm saying? They'll tear my shit up to try to keep me low, so they can continue to be inverted and think in a way that they never thought before in these low life identities. That's how that works. So, yeah, the activity just picked up, like all because I was about to take off and they've been trying to hide me. I was outside grilling earlier, and before I grill, I had to wash the grill. So they had Nicole playing with some kids in water. You know what I'm saying? And they'll do two things that ain't nothing alike. It's only one thing, one element that's similar in the situation. It'll be water hose. Two motherfucking identities that don't look nothing alike. Magic pixels. So, and then they had a grill. And normally these demons don't grill when I grill because they're not able to. They're not able to. So when I was grilling back to back to back to back, no one would grill, no one would use their bonfires. As soon as I went about a week straight without grilling, they all began to do it. So, I'm telling you, it's like extremes with gang stalking. Now he going in the down. He's trying to cover down on what me being right here in this space. Now if I go back in the backyard, which he's counting on me not to, that's gonna bust his ass out. But they're trying to cover all their fucking bases. And probably as soon as I leave that motherfucker run over here and be doing some shit he ain't got no motherfucking business doing. He had been staying from in front of my motherfucking door. Look, Drop's still sitting out there on the curb. You see? He spoke to her baby dad earlier. So, I'm like, yeah, he just sitting waiting. Y'all want to see something funny? Hold on. I'm talking about he did the exact same thing. They ring their own doorbells and act like they have a visitor or like they're visiting someone, like they're not at their place. Look. He ain't even supposed to have a vehicle. He a base head. And that's what you're seeing right now. It's elevation of the base heads. Niggas with irresponsible penises, females with irresponsible vaginas that can never think themselves or problem solve out of a situation before. And guess what? To cover down on how you're thinking better these days, you know, how we're applying all these genetic expressions to improve your thinking capabilities, we're going to put a lot of programs in place too. So you can say you went here and that opened your mind up to it. Yeah, and they be calling her baby dad me. So anyhow, I'm about to take off. I know I asked you if you just wanted to see something funny, but I don't know if I feel like it now. That's just all so ridiculous to me. They done blew my bus. They're all counting on him. Watch me natural disaster him. Like they've been talking about all day. About bragging about how they natural disastering me. He gonna be real pressed to speak because they're all, this demon is gonna be extremely pressed to speak because they're all counting on him. And I'm gonna look right at him and keep going. Look, he peeped. He peeped at me. He see me coming. So look, I'm like, oh, but the other bitch happens to be home too. Can you hear me? Right. That worked out well. I think it's, I'm pretty sure it's because I was recording.